Hi Flosstube, Judy here from an Aussie in a Kiwi world, here on YouTube and also my Instagram. So just wanted to pop in and do my 2023 WIP parade, my 2024 plans, and what I've been working on in the last 4 weeks. So I have quite a bit to show you, so hopefully you've got a nice cold or warm beverage to actually sit back and relax, and I will show you some of the projects that I've been working on and what I'm planning on working on. So I'm actually standing today, I'm not actually sitting down. It's so that I can sort of move around and grab the projects. I have projects right around me. There's quite a few, so jump in and relax, cross stitch while you watch. I know there's plenty of other WIP parades out there at the moment, so I do appreciate the fact that you've come and stopped by my channel and wanting to spend some time with myself and what I've been working on. So thank you very much for those returning subscribers. I appreciate that you've continually come back and the support that you actually give me and have done over the last 18 months. And also for any new subscribers that have actually found me just recently that have been joining. I do appreciate that you've come across and hopefully you like what you see. So, okay, so I have quite a bit to show you. I'll leave my personal update, family update or life update till the end for those that don't want to actually have to sit and listen to that. But it's, yeah, I'm excited. 2024 is going to be a great year for stitching and I'm happy to be able to share that with you. So let's kick that off with what I was working on in 2024. Now, I haven't opened any projects. Some projects are still in QSnap, so I will have to take them off as I go. So please bear with me. And I apologise if it's actually really noisy with me opening the zippers of my project bags. Okay, what's going to get a little bit confusing is that because I've got some projects that are going to go through into 2024 plans, they won't be in what I've worked on this year, even if I have done some of those. So I will show you where I'm up to when I get into the 2024 plans. So if there's a project that you've been watching me complete and you don't see it within my 2023 WIP parade, that it should come in the next section of the 2024 plans. Okay, these are in no order. They are just as I pulled them out of the WIP containers, so I'll just start from the top and work my way through. So the first one is a pain-free craft kit, which is the Kaleidoscope Dragon, Stanley Morrison, and that is this project. I love the colours and I can't wait to actually start getting onto those colours. It's going to be pretty cool. Now, if I've got a before picture of where I was, if it was a WIP that's come from 2023, I will try to put a start photo of 2023 here. If there's no start photo, then it is a new start, and this was a new start for 2023, so you won't see one for this. So I'm just going to see if I can find myself a cardboard, which I thought I had ready for me. Okay, so this is Kaleidoscope Dragon. Oops, should go this way. So I have just been working on the black, and I plan to hopefully finish the black stitches first. So I'm going to try to complete this project. So it is actually a 1/128 count tent stitch, as you can see when I get closer, and you can also see through the fabric here where I've actually went cross country with the threads, but because it's a full coverage we won't see that at the end. So that's the Kaleidoscope Dragon. There is a Stanley Morrison hashtag that Ellie Willie Stitcher has and Darren from Desi Stitcher has actually been following along. There's quite a few people that are actually doing the Stanley Morrison. I think Gail from Wombat Crafts, is it Wombat Valley Crafts? I will link these people down below because they are regular people that I watch, but I never think of their names, of their channel names. So that is the first one. Pop those all over the floor. The second project is the elephant puzzle. Another pain-free craft, and this one's by Adrian Chesterman. That's this project. I know that Darren Dizzy Stitcher and Sharon from Fun with Cross Stitch are both doing this project, and they're much further along than I am, which, if you've been following my channel for a little while, that will not surprise you. I have lots and lots of start-alongs, but I never have, I never get too far, and other people seem to finish way before me. So now this is still in the Q-snap, but I don't need to take it out because it's not further than that. And this is my progress on there. I do have a, oh, this was a new start, I believe, in 2023, so there won't be a new start on there. I was actually going to try to get all the figures, like from Pattern Keeper and things like that, but my tablet unfortunately has had a bit of a meltdown, and I haven't been able to actually grab those figures, so my apologies. If you are interested in how many stitches and stuff that are on there, please just let me know, and I'll let you know how many are on there. The next project is Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which is Hello Dear. I kind of forgot how nice these are to stitch on. The patterns, they're actually quite fun. So definitely going to have to find a piece of cardboard. Here we go. And this is the progress on this one. Yeah, they're so fun. The colours are lovely. The pattern's easy to follow. It's lots of fun to stitch along. The next project is Dreaming. Is Dreaming of Iris, which is this one, a Rosewood Manor. And only a small bit of progress on this one. Some's better than none. This actually come across from 2022, I believe, and there hasn't been much progress on it. So that's all my progress on there. I'll try to have a before photo here. The next project is Kissing Frogs, which is a Heaven and Earth design. It's by Leigh Seed, and this is what it will look like when it's finished. And it's going to be a long, long time before I see anywhere close to that. And again, I've started on the black stitches. I just want to try to colour complete the black and then fill in the green. And that's all my progress on that one. That was done, I believe, started in 2022. So there hasn't been too much progress on there, just a little bit of black, maybe the wings from behind here on her head. That's about all that I've done this year. But I do look forward to getting some stitches in there when I can. Okay, the next one is another Caterpillar cross stitch, which is the Hello Pumpkin. Autumn colours. this is where I'm up to for this one. Sorry, none of the projects are ironed, because they're just coming straight from project bags. This is how much I've done on here. I know that a lot of people were stitching on these for the stitch along when they were actually bought out by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I didn't manage to get any of them when they were free. I did purchase all 4 projects, so I'm a little bit behind in getting them done, but one step at a time, or one stitch at a time, as they say. The next project is the 2020 Linen and Threads Mystery Sampler, which is Family and Friends, and that looks like this. They are now Fox and Rabbit, so which is hence the reason why I've got a Fox and Rabbit little icon there. And this has been stitched in, I believe it's 904 DMC. I could be wrong. This has had a little bit of progress this year. And this is where I'm at. So I'm going to step back a little bit further. So this is actually quite fun to stitch on. I love the idea of the Quakers because of the motifs that they have, that you can just sort of finish one and then move on and things like that. Now this was a 2020 sell for them, and I have, as you can see, put in the 2020 date in there even though it's not finished. Now that's my mum's initials. She passed away in 2020 during COVID in April, and so I decided that I would do this in memory of her, so I just left it at 2020, which obviously corresponds with when the stitch along was released, and also a nice memory for to remind me of how long Mum's been gone. So not a nice memory, but a reminder of when she actually passed. Okay, the next one is a stitch area design, and this is from Etsy, and it's Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. For those that have actually watched me for a long time, Disney is one of my favourite sort of movies that I love to watch, all the Disney films, and Mary Poppins, Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz. I know Wizard of Oz is not possibly Disney, but they're all the kind of things that I love to stitch. So this is Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and this is where I'm up to. So this was a new start for 2023. I started this in Dunedin when I went down to a cross stitch retreat, and this was being stitched along with another Mary Poppins one that I started with my friend Nicole. So I've got lots of black fill in just here, and then that will obviously come all the way around and up, and then Mary Poppins is just here. So yeah. And I think the black on the yellow fabric actually makes it really pop on there. Black seems to be quite a prominent colour in cross stitch, and if you haven't already seen Ailarra's video, you'll be able to see that she had completed 130 something thousand black stitches just in 2023 on one of her projects. Dragons of the Sabbath, or Sabbath. Amazing achievement for her to do that many black stitches, and it just blows my mind how many that is to be able to do. So the next project was Alice in Wonderland, another one that's been brought through from 2022, and I had done the Wizard of Oz one and then seen this one, so needed to have this as well. Alice in Wonderland being my favourite. And this is where I'm up to. So I know when I first started I did only just have a little bit of the Alice in Wonderland on that, so I have done the majority of the top section, all that up there, and just filled in a few of the spaces in here around the Alice. That's going to be lots of fun to get going. So you will remember, for those that are in my Facebook group, I did put a poll for 2024 of the projects that I wanted people to vote on to see which ones would actually make it through to 2024. There was some in there that actually surprised me that made it through that above others, but I have not reluctantly, but I have agreed that obviously it's nice to have some input from the viewers, so I've taken those on all on board, and I have gone with the top 24 that were actually chosen. So it'll be fun to see those come alive, and there was quite a few new starts in there, so this being my last new start year for a little while, will be fun to start some new projects. So the next one is a Kathy Barrick, and this is Cat and Mouse. So it's a nice little cat with a landscape in his body. Also another fun stitch. Oops. Okay, sorry, I'm all over the place here. So I'm just going to quickly take this out of the Q-snap because there's more on there than what we can see. Okay, put that there. So I started again with the black and done the outline, and now I just need to do all the fill in and then do the star at the top. Still quite a bit to do, but it was nice to actually stitch on, and this fabric is lovely, this which is from Cascade Fabrics, or Colour Cascade Fabrics, and it's called Garden of Eden. So I don't know whether it's actually still available or it's not. Some of these fabrics have been in my stash for quite some time. Oops. Okay. So I just happened to find a bunch of my master copy floss sitting into that project. I must have actually snuck it in there. So I found something that I've been looking for and thought I'd been going crazy because I couldn't find it. So okay, the next one is the Season Quakers by Jardin Privé, or Jardin Privé. And this is the project here, the larger one. So I am actually going to do it like these four together. So I have started putting it all onto one fabric, and that is what I've done so far. Excuse me. So that's what I've done so far. Now, as the colours go across, green, red, blue, and I think a purple maybe, I've changed the colour of the letters, which you might not be able to see. The J here is the navy, because the fourth one across is navy, and then this red one's going to have the U is going to be green, just so it'll actually spell my name out in the alphabet going across. Just something quirky to do. This was actually really fun to stitch as well. When you work on something, I find, and this might just be me, but when you work on something and you are enjoying it, it's really hard to put it down, but then another project is always calling you, whether it's a new start whether it's something that's been in your stash for quite some time as a WIP, there's always something that's pulling you away to start a new project. Well, I find it is anyway. So the next one is a Joe Lynch design charted by Heaven and Earth, which is Frog in Blue. This is a companion piece to the red one, which I completed a little while ago. Now this is, I haven't really done a huge amount of stitches on here, but just that much. I don't even know which way this goes. It might go that way. Yeah, I think it actually goes that way. But either way, whichever way it goes, that's my start. Lots of nice colours to go in that one. Let's see if I can just grab the pink one that I had. Or the red one, sorry. So this is the sister piece of that one, also by Joe Lynch. So I hope to get those framed separately, but to be able to put up on the wall together. So, okay. The next project is a Autumn Lane Stitchery. Santa Claus is coming to town. Now I love this project on the navy, but when I was kitting this up, I was, I guess, a little bit impatient, and I was trying to just find a small piece that I was going to be able to actually stitch on without having to cut another piece, and this was in my stash, so I decided that I was going to change the fabric and put it on a green, and I love it on the green. So that is Santa Claus is coming to town. Still got a little bit to do. Mainly I've got the Santa Claus, the whole of the Santa Claus to do on this side of the town, but that's really fun to stitch. I love Autumn Lane Stitchery projects. They're just so vibrant and they're different. Yeah, they're enjoyable. So I have seen the I don't even know, the earth and the sea one, the cells that they've been doing, that quite a few people have done. I think they look lovely, and I love the end result. I just don't know whether I can commit to the size of the project, and I say that a little tongue-in-cheek because I've got so many other big projects that I need to actually finish before I take on any more big ones, which sounds a bit ridiculous considering that I've got so many new starts to come in this year, and a lot of them are big ones. So, but that's okay, we will sort that out. Okay, the next one is a Bothy Threads pattern. This is the Illusion from the Menagerie range, and I haven't actually done too much of this one. Just started in the bottom corner, and that is just this little bit here of his neck and the base, so not too much there. I love that the fabric at the background is actually already coloured, so it means you don't have to worry about stitching all those stitches. That definitely makes it easier. So okay, and another one from the Menagerie range is Paradise, which is the parrot. And this is the progress I've had on this one. Just started from the bottom corner and working my way through. I am trying to fill in these gaps here so that it's solid, and then I'll just work through. I'll try to get I want to try to get all of this yellow orange bit done first before I move on to the blues and into the greens at the top, and I'll leave the beak and the face last so that it pops out at the end. And the last one that I've got here in this pile for the WIP parade, as I mentioned, there will be others throughout the plans because I'm taking them forward. And this one is, this one is the Frog Pond by Charting Creations. I've actually started just up the top here. And this is the progress that I've made. Oops, put that behind. So you can just see his eyes coming in there. And I'm doing this on a 28 count magic guide, and it is a 10 stitch. Wonderful. Okay, so they are the projects that I've been working on throughout 2023, and there'll be more popping up throughout the next bit of the video. Okay, how exciting it is to actually be able to stitch and watch all the WIP parades and be enabled. I've got in the back of my little book here, I've been writing them down and putting the minutes of what time I see the project that I really like on the people that I'm watching, so I can just go back to that video and pick up the name, and it's easier to find than actually trying to stop the video and things like that. Okay, the next part that I'll actually show you is what I've been working on in the last month. Now there's 10 projects, and some of these projects are going to be in my plans for 2024, so I will try to explain that as I go through. Pick them up off the floor. So just a quick intro to my plans. There's 3 sections. There's a focus section, a sell section for stitch alongs, and also a just because I want to put the project in there and get some more stitches on it. That is only a very small list, but I'm pretty sure by the end of 2024 that would have grown substantially when I get the gist of wanting to stitch on one of the other projects I've got. So this is a just because project, and it is flea market flowers. So I've just recently been working on this one, and my goal for this was to get 4 sections completed down the bottom. I'll show you a before photo just over here. And so I have done all the outline of the boxes. Sorry, just trying to get it so that I can put it up properly. So I have done all, gosh, I feel like I've lost the plot. I have done all the outline of the boxes, and now I'm just, sorry, get myself sorted here. And now I wanted to get the bottom 4 boxes, this one, these 4 here. Well, as I was working on it, and you'll see by the before photo, there was lots of things that were missing in some of these other boxes. So what I done is as I got to the colour, I went and finished them in the other boxes. So I didn't really meet my goal by completing this 4th box, but I did complete part of the other boxes as well. So I sort of took that as a goal, that I did finish 4 boxes on the whole project. This was really fun, this project. I love it. The colours are great, and it was really hard to put that one down. So that was fun. I think the longest time is that afterwards is that I'm going to have to try to match all these projects up and put them away properly. Okay. So while I was actually working on that project, that is one that's going to go through the Just Because list. That's the first one in there. While I was watching that, I come across a Flosstuber who was talking about how she saves her projects and what sort of apps that she uses for it. And she was actually talking about Google Keep. I'd never heard of it before, and it's based on a Notion app. Her name is Beth, and she's from Busy Bee Stitches. I will try to put her channel name down here if you haven't seen her. She's been around for a little while, and she's got some really cool projects on the go. A really down-to-earth lady that actually that really keeps you engaged in the conversation while she's actually filming, so which is really cool. So I did go back and watch all of her videos that have been previously recorded, and got myself up to date to where I was when I started watching her. So if you haven't seen her before, pop over and jump on and have a look at her channel. And if you need something to actually organize the way you store your WIPs or your projects, jump on and have a look at that video about the Google Keep, because it's actually a great way to actually look at it and see your projects visually, like with photos, at the swipe of your on your tablet or your phone. So it's actually really good. This is another project that was coming through from 2023 that I've just worked on in the last month, and that is Dreaming of Fuchsia, another Rosewood Manor project. And I have done here and some of the bottom, just down the bottom here. So my goal on this one was to complete, where are we? To complete the fuchsia angel, which I'll show you in a moment, and 4 words. So there wasn't actually much in it that I wanted to complete. It was really only just this little angel and the 4 words that were sort of around it. Just a mini goal. These are based on they're on a paper pattern, because I've just copied the original chart and put it so I can mark it off. They're very hard to actually scan into Pattern Keeper because all the patterns are on different pages, so it's hard to match them up. So paper copy is pretty much all where I've worked from. So I think a little bit on this each time is probably going to be the way that I need to move forward with it. So I'll try to put a before photo of how it come into 2023, and this is where I'm up to. So I've just finished the 4 words here and this little angel just here. So coming together nicely though, and the colours are actually really nice. Nice to work with. So I am working just with the DMCs. I haven't actually used the any fancy floss with that. So, whoops. Okay. The next 2 are Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which are the other Hello series ones. This one is Hello Petal, and that is spring. Oops. And my goal on this one was to reach 10%. I was at 6.6% at the time, so I'll pop a before photo just here, and this is where I'm up to now. So believe it or not, 4%, which was about 700 stitches, was just this sheep here, this outline, the light brown, the ears and the feet, and a little bit of the grass. So it didn't take very long to actually do that. This is on a 14 count fabric, unknown fabric. Actually no, it's not, it's from Frog and Tink, which is purchased from Paddock Lane Designs. No, it's not. My apologies. Get your information right, Judy. It's Frog and Tink fabric, hand-dyed fabric from, and you can purchase it from Janet at JK's Cross Stitch Supplies in New South Wales, Australia. They have loads and loads of different ones, 18 count, 14 and 16 I think, and some even weaves, and the colours are delightful. So all of the Hello series are all on a piece of their fabric. The last Hello project was Hello Sunshine. This is the spring one. And, or is it summer? Oh, I don't know. Maybe summer. And the goal of this one was to get to 15%. I was at 11.08 and I ended up doing 800 and something stitches to get it to the next point. And this is where I'm at. So I've done quite a bit of these leaves here, filled in some sections in here. There's quite a big difference when you look at this one to the previous photo. So that's all 4 that I've showed you of those. Strange enough, none of those actually made it through to this year's plans. Now, most of the, oh no, just work that out. That one. Apples. Okay, sorry, I just moved it around a little bit. So the next one that I worked on was the Marjorie Massey, and this is just a photocopy of the pattern, my working copy. So this is the apples. It's called Petites Pommes, which I'm not too sure what that means in the language, but it's apples. My girlfriend Letitia had actually completed this one, and she done hers in a red variegated. And I said to her it would be really cool if we done one in green. So I changed my floss and done mine in green. This actually come through, I think it was a new start last year. I'll show you my before photo of what it was before I worked on it for this month. And I was only pretty much up to the top here. So I've done all of this section down the bottom. And yeah, so the goal was to finish this apple, which I did do, so can move on to the next one. There was lots of different decisions on whether I was to complete with doing all the apples green, or was I going to change and do some in red. I even pulled all different coloured variegated floss, thinking I might actually just do one of all these different colours, blue, red and green and pink and stuff. But I'm pretty determined now that I'm just going to keep it in as green, and I'll do all 9 apples in the green. The next one was a finish. Wasn't planned to be oh yes it was planned to be a finish. That was my goal. I was at 70.25% and I wanted to finish it. So, and that is the Lady Queen by Fox and Rabbit. So this is actually a piece that also matches with Ladies Who Lunch. So I've got both of them on the same fabric, and I finished obviously the Lady Queen like I mentioned, which is that one. I did change the colours a little bit in the top because I didn't have one of the colours, so I changed it. I don't know whether it makes too much of a difference, but I'm happy with the result. And I accidentally put the darker colour in here, which I don't know why we admit that we make mistakes, because it just makes it unique, but I accidentally put a darker colour in here instead of the one that I was meant to, but I don't mind. It is what it is. I put my name down the bottom there, and I added onto the crown up here 2023, just to show what year I finished. And just on the other side of that fabric, which is another project that I have worked on in 2023, was the Lady Who Lunch. And I've done pretty much most of that down the bottom there. I'll put a start photo of when I started it at the beginning of when coming from 2022, and I've filled in all of the stitches in here, so now I've just got the 4 ladybirds to do around. I'm always hopeless about cutting my fabric, as you know. So I try to keep the same fabric for matching projects like that, so I don't screw up the cutting it. I just sort of put one on one side and then leave the rest for the bigger one. So it's working so far. Let's just hope that it stays that way. Okay, the next one that I've got is a stitch along that I was doing with Creative Leigh on Flosstube. She has well and truly finished hers, and I knew that she would, because she was doing a 10% every month, so that she would finish it by the end of the year. We started this in January of 2023, and I was trying to actually keep up with her at the beginning of the year, and then that went by the wayside. I have way too many projects to actually keep up. So the project is the Stitch Goddess by Tiny Modernist, and this is my project, progress. Bad words today. So my goal on this project was to reach 2,500 stitches, which was, I had to actually get 500 stitches done, and I've done that, and that was the majority of them were done in this dress. I filled in the dress, so I'll have a before photo here to show you what it was before I worked on it this month. Now that is also a project that's going in the cells, so I will just pop that in that pile, and I'll mention it when I go through my plans, but I won't pull it out again to bore you. The next one is also one of my stitch alongs that's going through to 2024, and I have been working on this right up until yesterday. So the project itself is Mary Poppins, and this one's by, gosh, I always forget her name, Lena Over. She's on Etsy, so this is her, one of the samplers. So I started this one in March of 2023, and we were doing it as a stitch along that we started at the retreat in March down in Dunedin, or March, was it May? It was May or March of 2023. So Nicole, who I'm doing the stitch along with, has done quite a bit of hers. She's nearly finished, and her fabric that she's got won't unfortunately cater for the big border, so she's cut out the border. So I'm doing it also with Nicole from North Island Stitches, so the 3 of us are actually doing it together. So Nicola's actually just doing this section just here, so she's missing out this big border. Nicole and myself are doing the whole design, so that's how it will be different between us. Now this is and this is not going to cover it with the cardboard, but it'll give you an idea. So I've just got the top here to show where the top is, and then if I fold it down to give you a better look at this bit here, So obviously the bottom corner, I've worked my way through to just the middle bit, to give me a little bit of extra places to start stitching from, instead of just doing the border. And so I've done the majority of this here. Now my plan for this was to I had to stitch 1,012 stitches, and that was for the January WIP go, so which has just started, and I have completed that. So I've got on there about 1,200 extra stitches. So I'll pop a before photo just down here and show you where I was at. There wasn't much on there beforehand, but I think it was part of the border up the side. That's all I've actually completed. So, but that's really fun to stitch, and that one's going through as one of the cell projects. For 2024. Now if you're stitching any of these projects, feel free to drop me a message below, and if you want to join along, and we can include you in, include you into the messenger chat to talk about it and show our progress, or you can pop onto the Facebook group and actually show it on there. So different options if you would like to actually join in. So another stitch along that's going through to 2024. This was a December 11 start. It was a start it's been done with Nicole from North Island Stitcher. This is her birthday start. So, and that's this one, Naoko. It's by Pain Free Craft, or charted by Pain Free Craft, and Emily Jarridge is the designer. So the reason why I like this is just all the different colours and everything like that, but this young lady looks like Nicole's daughter, so I thought it was perfect. I didn't buy it for that reason, but I believe Nicole did, and she wanted to start it on her birthday for that reason. So and the progress where I'm at, I did originally start in the middle, and then I wanted to sort of get one of the highest number of stitches first, so I want to colour complete. So I've moved down to the corner just here. So that's all I've done, and the aim for this one was to get 1% done. So I want to try to do 1% every time I'm working on it, and that's 900 stitches. So, and I succeeded with that. Right on the dot of 900. I stopped once I got to 900, and I think that's actually the wrong way. I think it's meant to go that way, but you can't see what it is anyway, so it's not going to really make a difference. Okay, and the last project I've been working on for this month is my Happy Mood Points, which is this one. Another one that was a stitch along with Nicole from North Island Stitcher. They have some really cool projects on that site. I don't believe they're called Happy Mood Point anymore, but I can't remember what their new name is. If you search for Happy Mood Point on Etsy, I believe these people still come up on there with their new shop name. So this was the one that I tried to do the ombre style with. Whoops. I'll show you a before photo where I was just here, and this is where I am up to now. Just move the thread. So I've done from this flower just here all the way across just here. Now my goal, so I'm just trying to mark them off in my book as I show them. my goal for this one was to get to 45 or 50%, and I reached 50%, and I've done 5,681 stitches. So there's not much more to go higher, but there's lots to do in this house just here. So what I'm going to do is, just like the artisty project that I had with the butterfly, a silhouette butterfly, I'm going to go back in and actually change this light coloured thread here, because I think it just looks weird. But before I do that, I'll take it down to one of the retreats and I'll ask for other people's, because when you see it, when I look at it like this, it actually looks really cool, but when I see it up like that, it doesn't look so cool. It looks like I've missed some stitches. So I'll get someone else's opinion about what I should do there, and go with that. Okay, so that is all I've been working on in the last month. That's been done. That one's done, and that one's done. Perfect. So a couple of finishes that I had for this year, and one of them would have been, as you can see, the Lady Queen from Fox and Rabbit. The other one was a Mary Poppins. This was quite a quick one, practically perfect in every way. It's just done on a yellow fabric, which is hard to actually see, but now I can't remember whether I finished this in 2023 or 2022. I think it was 2023. And this is Begin Each Day with a Grateful Heart. And this is the one that, after I'd shown it, Laura, what's your channel? I'll pop it down here. I'll remember it shortly, but I'll pop it on the screen so you can see. And she had actually gone in and completed it on a different colour, on a blue fabric. Looks absolutely amazing on the blue as well. So that's that one. The artisty one, silhouette with butterfly, this is the one that I was just mentioning just a moment ago, and that was that. So I had fun with that one. There are two others in the range of that one, and I have them kitted ready to go, but they're not for this year. It'll be in the future, or maybe a just because. And the last finish that I could remember that I'd done was this one, which is Who Let the Frogs Out. So that was really cool. And there's 3 others in this series as well, so Whip It Good and a few others, so it's going to be fun to do that one. Do the other ones to match those along. Okay, so that's those. Now, just as a little bit of a break in between, I just want to do a couple of shout outs. So there is a shout out to Susan. I'm just going to use first names because I haven't asked whether I could actually mention them in this video, so I'll just use the first name Susan so you know who you are, to say thank you for the coffee donations and also the Christmas card that you sent along. It was not expected. The coffee donation was definitely not, or the Ko-Fi as they say, which is in the description down below. I don't actually put that expecting that people will do that. It certainly comes in handy when I have to pay for postage for my giveaways and things. So I do want to say thank you for that generous donation that you've provided, and of course the Christmas card. Also to Denise for racking me a Heaven and Earth project, which is actually in my stitch along, so you'll see that shortly. I'll mention that which one it is when I show that. And also to Diana, who often sends me postcards, and I've mentioned her before, sends me through postcards and things like that, which I love to get. So I have actually just returned back something to you in December, so hopefully that's arrived already, and if it hasn't, then it shouldn't be too far away. And I also got a big surprise that I had that come in just before Christmas, and it was a gorgeous little gift tag with some writing on the back, which is lovely. And because I love frogs, this is from Barbara, because I love frogs, I got a beautiful little frog brooch, which is going to be lovely to wear on a couple of my dresses. And again, because I love frogs, a beautiful little finished stitched little frog with an F. And how fitting does it be that obviously my grandson being Finley as well. So this is going to hang up in my craft room, up on my wall with my projects and my other frogs, quite proudly. So thank you very much to the ladies that have actually gifted me things and sent some beautiful messages and things like that. I do appreciate it, everything that you've done, so which is wonderful. Now I'm going to just see, excuse me if I'm reaching too close to the screen, no, shouldn't be. Now, while I was away, I'm always on the lookout for new frogs that I haven't actually seen before, or I own, or ones that I don't own. And I found this frog, which is just, it feels a little bit like plastic. I'm not too sure. It's definitely not ceramic, but it feels a bit like plastic. And on close on here, which you may not be able to see, there's actually a love heart. Well, there you might be able to see it like that. A love heart that's actually printed into there. And I just thought this was gorgeous. This is a little bit different to, but it's from the same people, I believe, to my frog ranges like this, which is just a praying frog, and in a different kind of colour. And I do have a couple more. Oh, they're actually over in the cupboard. I won't reach over to get those because I'll probably fall over and break my leg. So that was a nice addition to my frog collection while I was away, and I'll explain about where we went shortly. So okay, so getting into 2024 plans. So that is my 2023 WIP parade. If you're not interested in seeing what I'm going to take into 2024, I appreciate you stopping by. We're just at about an hour, and we've probably got maybe similar to go again, or maybe 45 minutes, I'm not sure. But either way, I do appreciate you taking time out to come and spend some time with me. So my 2024 plans are probably a little bit exceeding what I wanted to do, but when I start planning and then I get myself into a challenge group and things like that, it excites me to actually want to do more challenges. So I then go and jump in the deep end and join other challenges, which will make my stitching year quite a full one. So those of you that remember, back in 2022 I was part of the WIP Warriors. Back then it was No New Starts, and I thoroughly enjoyed the road trip around America, and or part of America, and I really liked that. I did go 333 days without, or 336 days without starting a new project, which I was very proud of. But what that unfortunately done was actually opened up my taste for, once I started one project, I wanted to start lots and lots more. So my 2023 year involved lots of new starts and lots of collecting of new projects so that I can actually start them when I can obviously start them. So that was a downfall, and I wasn't as restricted or controlled within my projects and getting WIPs done or finishes I was in 2023 as I was in 2022. So 2022 I had 17 or 19 finishes, not fully finishes, because if you've been around for a little while, you know that I don't fully finish very often. However, 2023 I only had 4 or 5 finishes because I was not focused on the fact of trying to get projects finished. I was starting all the new things. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more contained for 2024, and bear with me with my plans as I explain them to you. Hopefully they make sense. If they don't, I'm glad they make sense for me. But yeah, if you need to ask any questions or you've got any suggestions on how I can improve something or give me an incentive to do something different, I'm all ears, and please pop those comments down below. So this year I've joined in challenge groups WIP Warriors, which is now a closed group. You had to join that in November, end of November, to be able to participate in that. They have monthly challenges within the WIP Warriors, and part of that, as a sort of sister group, is the road trip. So the road trip is actually now going around Australia. Currently we're actually just on a Pacific cruise going from Alaska through to Australia, and it's quite full on with the amount of things you need to do, stitches for day activities and things like that. There's lots of new people in the group and lots of new learnings to do, because it's being ran or managed or administered a little bit different than what it has the last couple of years. There's new people that have, I think they were admin or moderators previously, and they've now stepped up to obviously be hosting the event. So there's lots that everybody's learning as we go along, and it's a huge undertaking to do that. So I appreciate the fact that Lisa and Natalie and the other the ladies are actually, sorry I don't have all your names in front of me, I just know those two, the time and effort that you're putting in to actually give everybody the ability to join in and have an incentive for us to get lots of stitches on our WIPs. So I do appreciate that you've done that. I've now just joined a couple of extra challenge groups. These challenge groups, I believe, are still open, so if you're interested in joining a challenge group that you want to try to push yourself to get extra or an X amount of stitches in 2024, jump on board and have a look. If you need to have a link to where they are, just drop me a message either here on, you can do it on the bottom of this video, or you can do it on Instagram or via Facebook Messenger or in the Facebook group if you'd like to. All those details for those connections are down below. So the 3 places that I have joined the challenges are Fun with Cross Stitch, which is Sharon. Sharon owns that group and I am an admin for her, just to help her with administration when she's away on holidays and things like that. We all deserve holidays, so I like to just give her a hand in there. So the one that's actually in there is called Reaching for the Summit, the challenge. And the challenge is of climbing mountains. So what you need to do is actually, they give you a list of all these mountains and how many stitches you need to actually get to the top of that mountain. So for argument's sake, I would actually tell you what they are, but they're on my phone and you're sitting on my phone. So the amount of stitches is, let's say Mount Everest, 21,000. This is just to throw it out there figure. 21,000 stitches to get to the top of that. So you use one project for that mountain to actually get to that stitches, to get those stitches done. And that is for, I believe it's only 2024 that's running. It may be the 2024-25 year, but I'll see if I can log in on my tablet and have a look and see whether I'm telling you porkies or whether I'm actually giving you the right information. 2024-25, this is a 2-year challenge, and it actually gives you all the different mountains that they're asking you to climb. So in each of those mountains, so Mount Everest was like 29,000, Mount Kilimanjaro was 19,341, Mount Rainier was 14,409. So there's lots of different mountains. There's a 7,000 step mountain. I know those figures for stitching in 1 year or 2 years is quite high, but if you don't reach the top, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not, you're not going to get into trouble, you're not going to get booted from the group, anything like that. You just join. This is a way, just a challenge, if you're interested or you're up for it, to actually try to reach those goals. If you make one mountain, if you get to the summit of one, you've got yourself 20,000 stitches on a WIP, or a completed 1 or 2 WIPs. So you don't have to actually complete every single one. You do it at your speed. There's no pressure. So jump on and have a look at that one. That was with Fun with Cross Stitch. I will put the links down below of these groups so that you can go and check them out. The other one was Full Coverage Fanatics. Has two challenges in there that I think they do have more, but these are the 2 that I've joined. One of them is By the Numbers 2024. You use one project and you choose how many stitches you're going to do on a monthly basis. So that could be 2,000, 3,000, 1,000, whatever you want to do, and it's just on one project. So I've joined into that one. And the second one that they have, sorry, I'm just opening them up on my, the second one that they've got, this one is a bit of a journey, and it's called the 2024 Epic Journey Challenge. So there's 25 journeys altogether, or 26. I've got 26 in my heading, but there's 25 on the picture. If I can show you, this is what it looks like. Hopefully it's not going to glare too bad. This will give you an idea. So there's 25 different things that you can actually stitch for. You don't have to start from the top and work your way across the each 5. You can jump and change around wherever you like. I have chosen on this, I've chosen 2 projects to do these projects in. I've chosen 2 WIPs to actually get stitches in for this challenge. So it's going to help me get stitches in on those 2 projects and get quite a big chunk of them done. So some of those ones are 6,437 stitches, 965 stitches, 2,740 on the Orient Express, Wally Herbert Travis's The Polar Ice Cap, 5,986 stitches, multiple different ones that you can do. I'm just going to start from the first one and work my way down. So that's another challenge that I've got. The last challenge that I've got is a group called Set Yourself a Stitching Goal. And this one is, they're traveling around New Zealand. So living in New Zealand, this is actually really fun. I'm looking forward to finding places where they may have stitching shops and things like that, and being able to physically go and visit those shops if I'm in the area or close by, or I'm on a journey around there. So this stitching one has a goal to stitch every day. Now, when I first looked at the goals, they were quite daunting. For the first 3 days of January, which we're up to today, I should have had 4,000 something stitches done for those, or just under 4,000 stitches. First 2 days were 800 and something each. The third day was 2,155. Now, this has all been worked out by how many kilometers it is from one place to the next place. So, and they've just added a 0. So if there's, or added a number to the end. If there's 83 kilometers, they've just chucked a 5 or whatever at the end to make it a little bit more hardy to get some stitches in. So for every day of the year, you'll have a certain goal of stitches to do. Now, if you're not someone that does 800 stitches in a day, you can still join this challenge, because you just work for, you might get 400 stitches in today, and tomorrow you might get 600 stitches. Some of the days in the month are only got 100 stitches, so you can, on those days, you can catch up 500 from one of the other days. That's the way I'm doing it. I don't know whether that's acceptable or that's not, but I'm certainly going to give it a try. 2,100 stitches in a day is impossible for me. Even if I was to sit there all day every day, I would only get maybe 12 or 1,300 stitches. So 2,100 stitches is far-fetched, but I am just going to pop on my Excel spreadsheet the amount of stitches I've done on the actual day, and then as I get to the days that I've got 100, I will do extra stitches to go back and add to that, or just to continue stitching until I reach the figure and make up later on. So no stress, I don't believe, but check it out. Go and have a look at those things. I'll put the groups down below, but like I said, Facebook groups, and see whether you're interested in pushing yourself for reaching a challenge. If you've got a full coverage project that you actually want to finish off, then use that full coverage project to actually get these stitches in. So full coverage fanatics is definitely just full coverage projects, that hence the name. So if you only have small projects or not full coverage projects, you can't use those in that group. So just make sure you read the rules to check where you make sure you're within the guidelines. Okay, so now that I've rambled on too much about that, I've got 3 WIP boards this year, and my WIP boards are under the topics as I mentioned before. There's a focus WIP board, which is this one, that has 24 projects on there that have been voted in for me to stitch on by members from my Facebook group, which is Stitching with Judy, an Aussie in a Kiwi world. If you're not aware of it, jump on board and answer a couple of questions and you'll be accepted. So there's a focus group with those 24 projects, and my goal on each of these projects is to get 2024 stitches on each one that's called within that month. If you're not sure of what WIP Go is, Jessie Marie Does Stuff she is on Flosstube as well, and in Facebook, Instagram. She is the creator of this WIP Go, and lots and lots of videos about how it works and how to do it and things like that, how to join. You can jump across to her channel and have a look. I will put that link below as well. The numbers for WIP Go for January are 9 and 22, or 22 come out first and then 9. So those 2 projects that I've got on here, I've got down on my challenge in my book to do 2024 stitches on each of those. There is also a WIP Go board for stitch-alongs, so 24 stitch-alongs in this book, on this page. There's actually 25 numbers, but number 13 is just a free-for-all, so you just choose to do whatever you like to do on there, and I've just got it that I'm just free to do whatever, so I don't have to stitch if I don't want to on that number, or I can use it to get an extra few stitches in on one of the projects. Now on my stitch-along, my goal for each of those projects is to get 1012, which is obviously half of the 2024. And the third WIP Go board is Just Because. So that's my third topic. And on there I have, again, 24 projects. There's no project names on the cell or the Just Because. It just says any Just Because project or any cell project. So I can choose whichever project I feel like out of that pile for the cell or the Just Because list, and stitch. For the Just Because, I want to get 506 stitches on each of those, which is obviously then half of the 1012. So they're my WIP Go boards. That is my plan for going forward. One of the projects that I have, which is going to be a focus finish, I want to finish it by the end of the year, is my Adele project. And I want to do 2024 stitches on that every month, regardless of if it's called for WIP Go or it's not. So if it's called for WIP Go, I will do 4,048 stitches. If it's not, then I will do 2024 stitches each month of the year, and hopefully that will finish it for the end of the year. I think I have to do 136 stitches every day from now till the end of the year to have that finished by the 30th of June. So it may need more than 4,000 stitches, but that's totally fine. I will work that out as I go along, and then catch up at the end if I'm short. So they're the 3 groups that I've got. And now how I'm organising this, because I'm pretty sure some of you will be sitting there going, oh my gosh, how is she going to actually keep track? So creativelycrafting.com has some wonderful resources or tools to help you keep track of your projects. This is one of them, and I've mentioned this in the previous video, WIP management. So this has the name of your pattern, little pie charts for you to colour in if you've got a goal of 500 each pie chart that you want to get done in here, and then the amount of stitches you want to do, and also the stitches done just here. And then on the right hand side when it's due by, so if you've got a due date that you want it done by March or June or whatever, that's what you put in there. So what I'm using this for, I've got one of these for each of my groups, so there's 3 altogether. And the 24 projects that I've got for my focus group, I've got all listed down here, and I've got 2024 against it, so that's the amount of stitches I want. That's my goal for each of them, to get them done by the end of the year. If I get more on there, then that's just a bonus, but my goal for these ones is 2024. My WIP board number 2 is the same with all the projects on there. Now I have actually done one of them, which was the Mary Poppins one that I had to get the 1012 done. So all I've done is I've segmented one segment here to show I've done 1012. I actually done 1076, and I've put the dates of when I done those stitches just here. So you can work out and write on this piece of paper whatever you like. Make it so it's unique to yourself, whatever is going to be easy for you to understand or how you want to follow. Now, behind each of those WIP management ones is I've got, same thing from Creatively Crafting, is a WIP time log, which is a full year, 1 square per day of the month, January across to December, and it allows you to put the name of the pattern, the year that you're doing it in, and then what I've done is put down at the top when I started the project, where I'm at with the project at the moment, starting from the 1st of January 2024, and what my goal is at the top. So this one is Adele, so it's saying that I want to complete it. Down the bottom, I've just scribbled on here, if I'm using it for any of those challenge groups I just mentioned, I'm actually just putting it here just to remind me that when I do these stitches, I can add the progress photos in those groups to help with that challenge. And for each of those, I've just got each of my projects, I've just got a page for that. And I number them, my focus ones are just numbered 1 to 24, just here. So if I don't know the name of the project, and I know the number, because on each of the bags I've got a little post-it note, and I'll show you that as I go. I then just find the number that's associated to the bag and stitch on that. Okay, so that is the planning part of it, of how I'm going to keep track of it. Now I will show you the projects that I'm going to take through. So we will start with the Just Because pile, and that's just because there's only 3, so it's nice and quick. Okay, so the first one that we've got for the Just Because is Flea Market Flowers, and I have just shown you that in my last month's stitching. So the plan on that one is to actually just get 512 stitches done, and that is this is a sale that I've been doing for a little while, and I've had a few girlfriends that have actually joined in. We all started it at the same time, and as always they've finished theirs and I'm still going, so which is totally fine for me. I don't mind at all. The second project is Fox and Rabbit 2022 2022 mystery sampler. Now this hasn't been started, so it's a new start for me, and this is the project for those that haven't seen it. You can still download this from their website, I believe, or maybe not. You may have to pay for it now because it's past the collection time. I think I did buy this one, and I also bought the 2021, I can't remember, but just check out their website. They do have some free ones on there, and they do bring one out every year, so I'm looking forward to collecting the 2024 so I can do that next year, because I seem to be a year behind or a year or 2 behind. So that is the number 2 for my Just Because. And the third one is a WIP. I haven't seen this one out for quite a while, and I do love stitching on it. And that is the Autumn Lane Stitchery Lost Soul Cemetery. So I wanted to get this one, get some more stitches on this. If not a finish, I'd love to actually finish it, but that will depend on how much, if I get my other finishes done. So, and this, my start for that one, to show you where I'm up to, is here. So I've done quite a big chunk of it. So from this part, this corner here that I've just folded over, so this is that's the start of it from here, and the gates with the Grim Reaper is actually the middle, and then it comes across. Now this here, I believe, is the side of the project. So I have reached the left hand side, or have I? Yes, I have, with the white tombstones. So this is the side of the project here, and so I just have pretty much full coverage in this section just here, and a tree in the background on just up here. So there's still quite a bit to do on there, and I'm looking forward to actually getting it done and completed so that I can move on to one of the other ones, because I did go through an Autumn Lane Stitchery buzz for a little while and started lots and lots of their projects, but I haven't picked them up for a long time. So I would really like to stitch some of those, and they may become a Just Because project. So okay, now the next ones I'll do will be the cell ones. Now some of these are a little bit out of order, so please bear with me when I try to work them around. Okay, so my first one was meant to be a January 1 start with Nicola and Megan. However, because I was traveling back from my Christmas break, we decided that we would do it yesterday, so on the 2nd, and all three of us started the project yesterday. I hadn't had it kitted up yesterday at all, and while we were on a Zoom chat last night, I decided that I would quickly hurry up and try to get the stitches in to be able to start it on the same day as they have. So the project is Strawberry Fields Forever. You've seen this probably lots. This is just my working copy. You've probably seen it out there. Lots and lots of people have stitched it and done an amazing job. Different colour fabrics and stuff like that, so they all look different. They have some gorgeous colours, and I'm using the DMC conversion. I'm not using the dyed over dyes, and the colours are just delightful. So my Paisley start that I had, keep in mind, like I said, I hadn't actually had it kitted up, and I was still working on getting all my projects together for my Flosstube last night. At 10 minutes to midnight on the 2nd of January, I completed 18 stitches to give myself a minor little start of that many, but at least I started it on the same day as the ladies. And we now have a start along where they will finish it. I know Megan wants to finish it by March for when we go to our Christchurch retreat. I won't have it finished by then, and I probably won't have it finished by the end of this year. So I will do my best to get that as many stitches in there as I can, hence the reason why I've got it on here. So my goal for that is 1012 stitches. It will take more than that to finish it, definitely. So I just need to work on that when I can, and when it comes up on WIP Go, get the 1012 stitches on, and then if I want to, and I can just throw it in the Just Because and get some more on there as well. So that is Strawberry Fields. Number 2 project for the stitch alongs is Heaven and Earth. Now this is the project that I was gifted by Denise. So I'd like to get this one started. It is a mini project, so it won't take a huge amount of time, but it will definitely not be done in a year. And it is the Mini Darling Dragonling 4. So see if I can get that a nice picture, which is absolutely gorgeous. The colours in this is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to doing that. So I haven't started that as yet. It will possibly be done as a tent stitch on either 1/1 25 or 28 count. I just need to get the fabric. I've got it in my stash, but I just need to cut the fabric ready for that and pull the threads. So that is number 2. Number 3 is a stitch along, which I haven't put in the bag yet. I only just printed out the chart today, so excuse me 1 second while I just grab the pattern. Gosh. Sorry guys. Like Jen, the caffeinated crafter, says, talk amongst yourselves. We'll get this sorted. Okay, so this will be a stitch along. I noticed that Danielle, Cardiff Stitcher, Danielle is actually already stitching this, so I said to her I'd jump on the bandwagon with her. It is the Quick Stitch Seahorse 2, and I can't pronounce the artworks by, is it Ching Chow Quick? Hopefully I haven't dodged that up. But this is going to be great. I love these colours, and I just need to, I haven't got the fabric or the thread sorted yet for that, but I will get that sorted in the next couple of days, maybe on the weekend. The 4th one that I've got, this was actually going to be started a little while ago, and I hadn't got around to it because I haven't actually, I'd got the material but I haven't got the floss ready. I can use my master set, but I just hadn't got around to starting it. So this is Animal Panorama, which is charted by Pain Free Crafts, and it's quite a big project. It is 900 by 324, massive project. Now Danielle, again, Cardiff Stitcher, is also stitching this, so we're going to stitch those together. Hopefully we'll be able to have some Zoom chats and do that. I will try to create some, the stitch along ones, I will try to create some events in my Facebook group. So if you are stitching those projects, then by all means jump on and we can share our progress in those. So it'll keep each other encouraged to actually stitch. The next one is another one with Danielle that she's doing, is Hive Rules. I sort of just invited myself to join her stitch along. And that's by Primrose Cottage Stitches, just my working copy. And that is this Hive Rules here. It says, Hive Rules, be sweet like honey, mind your own bees, wax, always be humble and kind, believe in yourself and others, and love and be loved. So that's a gorgeous pattern, and I love bees, as you know. So that will be a great one to stitch along. That is number 5. Number 6 is Teresa Kogat's Wilbur. Now Laura I Stitch Birds is stitching this at the moment, and I love her one, so I've decided to do this. Now I haven't actually started the project yet. I have picked out my fabric, which is a lavender potpourri from Country Stitch, and you can't really see, it's a bit like a lavender greeny colour. When I start stitching on it and I show it in my Flosstube videos, I'll be able to show you what it looks like. So that's Wilbur, that's another new start. all these stitch alongs that I've mentioned already are all new starts. Another new start by, this one's Alice for Ori TM, by Ori TM. This stitch along is going to be with Megan and Nicola. If you haven't seen these already, there's quite a few of them. You can get Peter Pan, you can get lots of different ones, Belle and like Beauty and the Beast. I haven't been successful in obtaining all of them just yet, but my plan is that I will and do them all. So that is number 7. Number 8 is a start for, this will be a stitch along in that we start in March for Nicola and myself when we go down to the Christchurch retreat, and it is a similar, it's from a different designer, but a similar project to the Mary Poppins one, and this is the Alice in Wonderland. So this is by Candle and Needle in the Etsy store, and you can see their details just here. So that will be started in March. Now they do have another, there is another couple of Alice in Wonderland samplers. These are by Lena Over. And there's this one, oh, this one was number 2, I think. So Alice in Wonderland, and is actually just like the Tea Party. So these are all along the same lines of same sort of style. And this is the Queen of Hearts. So I've got those to do as well at some stage, whenever that happens. Okay, number 9 is the Naoko, which is the one that I had with Nicole. I won't show you the actual project again, but I'll just show you the picture. So that is this one, number 9. And number 10 is the Christmas Cell, which is the Doreen Jones Christmas Cell. I don't actually have the photo with me here, but I haven't printed out the pattern yet. Most of you have probably seen it already if you're in her Facebook group. It was a free stitch along that she had posted up some charts on a Friday, and they all become one project. It's actually really cute. So I've got that one. Number 11 and number 12 is stitch alongs that Gail from Wombat Hollow Crafts has started, but even though I will be happily to join that, I've got a girlfriend, Michelle, who's actually wanting to do them as well, so we're going to do our own little stitch along between the two of us, and that is the Australian Quaker map. That's the Australian one, and I'll be also doing the New Zealand one, so as a stitch along. So these are that's number 11 and number 12. Have no idea what kind of fabric I'm going to put it on, but obviously I'll put it in the call for colours that are on there. So that's 11 and 12. Number 13 is another Christchurch retreat start, which will be in March with Nicola. We like to have 2 projects so we don't have to worry about just taking one, and that will be Sew to Stitch Peter Pan. Now I want to actually place this on the fabric, so on one piece of fabric, so I can get all of the Peter Pan projects, the ones that they've got like this, all on the one piece. Now I will put a photo up here to show you what I'm intending to do, but I'm going to start with the Peter Pan one, and then I will add all the others as I obtain them and purchase them. So that's the only one that I've got so far. That is number 13. Number 14 is the Stitch Goddess, which is the one with the orange hair that I've just recently been stitching. That's this one. So that's going through as well. Number 15 is the Mary Poppins, which is the one that I showed you that's got the orange Silks for You floss. Silks for You silk. That's number 15. Magic Roses, the last one in the stitch along, is this one. And this is also one of the projects that I'm going to be taking through for one of the challenges, so it should get quite a chunk of stitches on it, even though my goal on my WIP Go board is just 1,012. I do plan on getting a good maybe 20,000 stitches on this one. And that is also with Michelle. That's a stitch along with Michelle, and I'm doing it as a tent stitch, and I'm not sure it goes that way. And this is the start photo of where I'm at. Sorry about the runaway threads. This is where I'm at. So a long way to go on that one, but it'll be fun. All the threads that I've got for that project are here, and there's some gorgeous colours in that project, so I'm really looking forward to getting those completed. Now I'm pretty sure they are they're CXC threads, they're not DMC. I purchased quite a few, I think 1,000 threads, and got it for quite a cheap, like $180 or something, and it was well worth it to actually get it because the threads are quite nice to work with. Okay, so that's my stitch along ones for 2024. That's 16 projects on there. 3 on the Just Because one, and as I mentioned, that will actually increase. I'm pretty sure that will end up possibly with 24 by the end of the year. As I stitch on something that's not on the list currently, I will add them to that Just Because, and I'll try to get 506 stitches on them. Okay, so now for the focus ones. So focus number 1, and this is a finished focus as well, so I do want to actually get this totally completed by the end of the year. So this is a Dell 2 by Tilton Crafts. Now I don't know whether it was the last Flosstube I put up or the one before, but I did actually manage to finish all the black stitches on there. So now I just need to fill it in. I'll do that again. Now I just need to fill it in with all the other colours, and I look forward to that. So that's being pulled up for this month on one of the challenge groups that I've got. So I need to do 2,000 stitches on that for this first month, plus my 2024 stitches for my finish goal on it. So that is number 1. Number 2 is Saga. Oh, sorry, the Adele project. If I've got the amount of stitches, I'll let you know. So my start on that, I've done 39,447 stitches, and they're all black ones, out of 90,000, and I'm at 43.83%. So there's still 50,000, just over 50,000 stitches to do, and that's what I need to complete by the end of the year. So that was started in February of 22. Number 2 is Saga, another one that's obviously been blasted over Facebook because it's amazing, and the goal on that one is 24 stitches or more if I can manage it, but minimum of 24. And this is where I am up to. just that way. Now this is not all going to fit into the screen, so I'll just, so I've done some at the top there to reach the top, and I've done all the sides all the way down up until the middle, and then right to the bottom. I've reached the bottom. Now on one of my previous videos when I started this, I mentioned that when I started in the middle, I was concerned that I wasn't going to have enough fabric, and as you can see, I don't have much fabric either side of this. It is actually quite a pain when I put it in the Q-snap to get the side, because the Q-snap doesn't hold much fabric on the side and it goes a little bit loose. But so that project has currently got on there 10,842 stitches. My last goal on that was to get to 10%, which I did reach, and that's of 10,400. That is of 104,773 stitches. So lots and lots of stitches to go back on this on 90,000 or something. Definitely won't be a this year project, but I'll like to get a good chunk of that in there. And I am using I am going to use that for some of my challenge projects as well, so hopefully that will get them done quicker, get more stitches in it quicker. Okay, number 3 is a new start, and it is Madame Chantilly's Summer, or Celebrate Summer, which is this one. It's going to be a nice stitch to do, and that's going to be done on a mauve, which is hard to see the colour, a mauve 20 count Aida with all the called for DMC floss. This is going to be a pain putting it over there, so I'm just going to move it over here to make it a bit easier. Okay, number 4 is, now I call this the Do Re Mi. It's actually called the Singer Sampler series, and it is the projects from Silver Creek Samplers. It's got Do Re Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Da, or Ti, Do, Ti, Da. Yeah. So I had done quite a bit of stitching on this one, and then I had all the words written across the top, and I had to pull it apart because it went too far over here and it didn't look right. So I've pulled it back to here so I can reduce the stitches in between the words to make sure it fits. But that's my progress so far. Another one that I've got way too much fabric on this side and not enough on that side. Just another Judy dilemma with her cutting fabrics, but that's okay. You think maybe in another 40 years of stitching I might learn how to cut it properly. Okay, that's number 4. So number 5, oops, what have I done here? Number 5 is Map of Australia. Sharon from Fun with Cross Stitch is doing this and has done a huge amount. I think she's only got like maybe even 25% to go, or half, I'm not sure, but she's done a huge chunk on hers. I unfortunately haven't done a huge chunk on mine. We didn't start it at the same time, but I have seen that she's done quite a bit. Now I'm just going to pull it off the Q-snaps to show you how much I've done. Excuse the paper threads if you don't like them. Okay, and this is my progress so far. So that is not much of the project, but there's quite a few stitches there, so it's quite a nice project it is in Pattern Keeper, so it makes it a lot easier. It's quite confetti heavy, and I am trying to stitch it block by block, and that's why I'm parking the threads. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6, hopefully I'm not boring you guys and you're still enjoying the projects that I'm showing you. Number 6 is Fruits of Plenty, the 2021 Modern Folk Embroidery Sale. This one's been blasted all over over Facebook as well, and there's so many different colour ways that people have done them. Absolutely amazing. I love the projects that you can actually choose to use your own colours or to do do as they have been charted. It certainly makes it good. So I'm doing the Modern Folk Embroidery range that he's got, the cells. I'm doing them all in 996 and 310. So this is my progress so far. This was a new start last year, so no beginning photo because there was nothing on there. And number 7 is Our Forest Embroidery 100 Owls. Now this was done with a sale with a group of friends, and they have long finished. And typical, I haven't. So I am up to here. So I have done quite a bit of work on there, but still a long way to go. It's actually from the paper chart, so another one that I tend to not pick up because of it being on a paper pattern. Hence the reason why I wanted to put it forward to hopefully get some stitches on and get quite a big chunk on there. Number 8 is a new start, and that is Reaching Skyward. So that is Modern Folk Embroidery. Now I haven't started it yet, but I will put a picture up here of what it will look like in the colours that I've chosen, the 996 and the 310. I'll pop that up there. That's the 2023 sale. And that's number 8. Number 9, another new start. Gosh, I need to stop doing the new starts. Is Dreaming of Poppies. Another Rosewood Manor pattern, which is really cool. And number 10, which is the last one in this tub, is another Rosewood Manor Dreaming of Sunflowers. And I have started this one already. So hopefully you're all still awake, because we're at 1 hour and 48 minutes and I've still got quite a few to go. So this is probably one of the longest videos I've ever had to do. That's my start for it this year. They're such lovely patterns to actually do. So I think that's why I'm in love with them all, and I own all of the Dreaming range. It's just a matter of getting them started. Okay, so that's the first box. Second box is, where have I put the second box? Sorry, bear with me. I think I'm going crazy. Okay, so we're at number 11, and number 11 is a Rosewood Manor Dreaming pattern as well. This was the first one that I actually started, and I fell in love with this when my girlfriend Christine had started it at the Christchurch retreat in 2022, and that is this, tulips. And I've started it in this side here. And this is where I'm up to. So that's my start. I started this one in 2023. Had a bit of a start of the Rosewood Manor projects, so they all sort of got to start at the same time. Number 12 is, ouch, is an Autumn Lane Stitchery pattern. And my magnets got there. So I just made my finger bleed. And that's this one. And this is Midnight Brew. So this was from when I had the Autumn Lane Stitchery start and wanted to start everything. So they've all got some stitches on it, and that's how much I've done. I went through a stage of where I just loved to do black stitches, and Autumn Lane Stitchery has loads that actually have black stitches, like the shadow sort of work. So that's why I love doing their projects. Number 13 is the project that if you watch Dizzy Stitches, he's just finished his in December. And that is the Mini Top Frog. Jodie Bergsma. This is the Max Colour. Kel Stitches is also doing it. She's done quite a chunk of hers. And I'm, as always, far behind, even though I started myself. And I've only done this much. So that's my start for the year. I would really like to say that all my full coverages, I'd love to get like 20,000 stitches in each of them. Now, as much as I'd love to do that, I don't know whether that would be possible, but I don't want to set myself big goals like that just in case it brings me undone and it makes me overwhelmed. I would prefer to give it myself a little goal and maybe overachieve rather than under. So this is the stitch along that I'm doing with Nicole from North Island Stitches. We started a Facebook group for this stitch along, so if you'd like to, just do a search for Once Upon a Fairy Tale Amy Stewart, and there's a stitch along there where you can share your progress. And this is my progress on this one, not a huge amount. Yeah, so putting 1,000 stitches in there every now and then does definitely make a difference. So that's actually a 25 count, 25, or maybe it's an 18 count, Ada, and it's done a 2 over 1. So I haven't actually mentioned that on a lot of the projects. It's a lot of times is because I can't remember. Getting old is actually really hard, and I don't know whether the not remembering is part of getting old or what it is, but sometimes I've got quite a lot of friends that have got older relatives that have got dementia, and it's actually quite sad to hear that people actually have to suffer with that, because it's just terrible that you go and lose all the memories and all the memory and stuff like that. It's just terrible. So I don't want to actually make a joke of losing my, forgetting things, but it's actually true, and it's been happening as I've been getting older. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, the next one is a new start, which is Quaker's Hometown. That is this one. I absolutely love this project with the colours. I may change my colours. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to stick to what they've got or whether I change it. But I love the design. And the designer actually does some pretty cool designs. Leigh from Creative Leigh has completed the autumn one of this. This is called Colours of Autumn. Sorry, a little bit of a sidetrack. This is autumn. So I seen her one and thought it was gorgeous. So I've now purchased all of the range because I like to have all the range. We've got winter, summer, and spring. Now spring is the one that actually caught my eye originally after looking at Leigh's one on that site, and I love this with these flowers, and then I couldn't buy one without buying all of them. So what I do want to try to do is maybe put them all on the one piece of fabric and have it as like have two by two. New purchases, part of the haul. Back to my project. So number 16 is the 2019 sale by what used to be Linen and Threads at the time, but they are now Fox and Rabbit, and that is this project, the peacock. Now again, I'm using 996 as part of my, or it might even be 995, very similar, as part of my colour palette. But I have done this much. So try to complete the boxes as a goal, the mini goals, so that it's easy to say, rather than having to worry about counting the stitches, because it is a paper pattern that I'm working off. I just feel my goal is filling the square. So, but my goal will be for on here to make sure I've got 24 stitches. Number 17 is the No Time Like the Present, which is the 2024 Modern Folk Embroidery Cell. Now this is the colours that's obviously in the pattern. I will put a copy up here, or a picture up here of the colours I'm using with the 996 and 310 to show you the difference of what it looks like. So that's a new start. Number 18, and the last one in this box, is my Gecko Rouge B by Elaine, which is that. Beautiful vibrant colours. I first seen this on B Stitcher or Stitching Bee. She's now changed her name to What's Morgan Stitching, and she had completed it and I just fell in love with it. So this is my progress of how much I've done. There's quite a few little ninja stitches in here that I need to complete, and as you can see all here, that's fully completed up the top there. I'm just trying to fill in all the space, and because I want to make sure I can fill as much in this Q-snap as I can. I thought that it would be really bright, being a bright spark, to be able to hold on my fabric was to sew it. So I sewed it on there, so I can't now move it off easily unless I pull that apart. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'll fill in as much as I can within the Q-snap, and then I'll move it. This is one that I'm going to be using for one of the challenges, so I would hope that I'm going to get maybe 20 or 20,000 stitches in on that one. I'll just see if I've got the numbers for that. Number 18. So I've done 20%. So I've done 13,021 stitches, and I have 60. That's out of 65,116. So it's not a huge project. Big enough, but not that huge. Okay, that is number 2 box, up to number 18, and the last few projects. Thanks so much for your patience, guys, sitting and watching. It's definitely the longest video that I've actually recorded, so I appreciate you hanging around and checking it out. The number 19 project is Bothy Threads Cats Follow Me 1, 2, 3. So these are 3 individual patterns, and I've put them on the one piece of fabric, and I'm putting them in that order. I think it's actually 1, 2 and then 3. I'm not sure the way that they're supposed to be, but that's the order that I'm putting it on. I believe it looks better that way. And my tiny start is this much, so not much. And I've now moved over to the second one, just here. Okay, number 21, another cell, and I'm pretty sure the lady that I started this cell with will be over the moon to know I'm bringing it into 2024. This is Paris from Country Threads. Now this was started, I think, in 2022, and Susan, the lady that I'm started the stitch along with, is reasonably a monogamous stitcher. So when she started it, she had no intention of stopping until she'd finished. Where I'm not a monogamous stitcher, as you know, so I've actually stopped. Well, I finished the R, and now I've just moved back to start doing the A, and I don't have too much more of the A to do. I would love to get a big chunk of stitches on this year to try to get that done, at least the A and the P, and then I'll do the I and S on it next year, put that into my rotation for next year. So, and because I do have all the other ones that go along with that, Rome, Sydney, New York and London are the other ones, so I have those as well, and I will start those when I'll start one when I finish one. So there's multiple other ones, so here's a couple of the other ones that you can get as well. So no use me starting them if I haven't finished that one. The 22nd project is Autumn Lane Stitchery, and this is, oops, a mess. This is Potions and Spells. Katt from Katt Stitches also is doing this, and I don't know whether she's finished or she's on the last quarter of hers. She's done a much more than what I have, and so my silly little project is this much, so not very much, but 2024 stitches going into that this year, hopefully. That will make me happy. Project number 23 is a new start. Surprise, surprise. And that is a Gecko Rouge kit that I received, which is Frog by Elaine. I love the bee that she's produced, and loving frogs, I thought I would definitely need to get this one. So that will be started this year. And the very last project is another new start, and that is Madame Chantilly, and that's the Christmas one. Okay, so that is my 24 projects that were voted in to start in 2024, or to do stitches on in 2024. I hope that I get as many stitches as I would like on those or more, and like I said, I've actually just set myself up to do 2024, 1012 or 506 stitches on each of those projects, when they call for WIP go, or whatever takes my fancy within my challenges and things like that, whatever's going to fit within the challenge. So I'm really looking forward to 2024. When I watch WIP parades and things like that, it gives me the excitement of being able to get in and do big chunks of stitching and wanting to do stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what's going to come from there. So that is all my plans for 2024. I'm just going to give you a bit of a life update, and if you're not interested in that, again, thank you very much for supporting my channel and watching up this long. 2 hours is a huge amount of time out of your day or night, whichever it is. Even if you've done it in little chunks instead of in one go, I do appreciate your patience for doing that. So a little bit of a life update. The last time on my Flosstube channel, I mentioned that my son and my grandson were coming across from Australia. They arrived on the 9th of December, and I had up until the 26th of December with them, which was amazing. We didn't do a huge amount of things together. We did do some things. Unfortunately, on the 22nd of December, COVID actually found me, and I was quite unwell with that. Come down with headache, body ache. For those that have had it will understand what I'm saying. It was, someone asked me today whether it was like a normal cold, and I don't think it was. It was like a normal cold, as in with the sniffles and the sore throat and things like that, but the actual aches and the headache and the body aches were way worse than a normal cold that you'd get. So I did suffer from that. Well, the unfortunate part is, I believe I had COVID a few days prior, because I did have a runny nose a few days prior. I only tested on the 22nd because that's when the real bad body aches had started. And on the COVID stick, for those that have had it, where you see the liquid sort of go up and you can see the lines, that line to show that I had COVID was thick and black, or whatever the dark colour is, burgundy or whatever. It was really in your face. That was a, you're going to have your ass kicked because you've got COVID sort of look. So that wasn't very fun. And knowing that I had to fly out on the 26th of December to Christchurch to spend some time with my daughter and Finley and her husband Dan, I wasn't looking forward to that. So I ended up going to Christmas Day, which was at my husband's family. Made sure I had a mask, done all the things that you normally do to try to protect yourself, clean your hands, hygiene, all that. On the morning of Christmas Day, I'd actually tested myself as well, and the line was very, very faint. So I'd actually thought it was gone, but it was very faint. And that's the only reason why I attended the Christmas lunch. Touch wood, from that day, nobody has actually had COVID within the group of people that we were with, 18 of us. So I'm happy to know that I obviously didn't spread it to anybody. On the 26th, I tested again before we caught our flight. My son and my grandson went back to Australia on the 26th. They flew back to Brisbane and Sydney, and we were flying to Christchurch. So I tested again on the 26th morning, on Boxing Day. And you could hardly even see the line. Like I said, there was no line there. My husband said, yes, there is a line. He could see it, and I don't know whether his eyesight's better than mine, but he could see it. And I said, well, I'm still going to go because I believe that by the time I get down there, it'll be fine. And I was feeling better. So I flew down there. When I arrived there, Cherie, my daughter, said that she wasn't feeling very well. Had a headache and some body aches and stuff like that. So she was unwell already. And by the time I tested again, when I got down there was no line. So I was negative by the time I went down there. By the time I got there, which was great. The unfortunate part is that a couple of days in, and Cherie tested positive for COVID. So I believe she already had that prior to me getting there, so I didn't give it to her. And the unfortunate part of that is that's now been passed on to Finley and Dan. So the whole three of them are down with COVID, and hopefully getting better as we speak. So I will put a couple of photos up of my gorgeous grandchildren, spending time with them up here for Finley and Billy, and just to so you can see updated photos. And yeah, I had a great time when we were away. I still was feeling the body aches, but definitely felt much better than what I had before I went down there. So we had a great time. We arrived back in Auckland on the 1st, on New Year's Day, and we stayed in Auckland for the night because we arrived at sort of 8:30 at night and didn't want to have to drive the hour and a half home. So we stayed at Craig's sisters, and then we come home yesterday. Come home to Charlie and Murphy, and they were super excited to see us, as we were them. So although my holidays had a little bit of a hiccup with COVID in between, I had a wonderful break. I went back to work today, so first day back at work, and it was quite busy. most of my team were still on holidays. They don't come back until some next Monday and some the following Monday, so we've still got a couple of weeks of where we're very skeleton staff. But we will get through there. It'll be totally fine. People are patient at this time of the year, or more patient at this time of the year, because of people being off on holidays. So we'll just have to deal with it. Yeah. So I had a good break, and I hope that you guys had a wonderful break too. Sorry about me standing here rocking. It's hard. I'm not used to actually standing up and chatting to you. I'm usually sitting down. So I'm going to go and do maybe an hour's worth of stitching before I go to bed, and it's just hit 9:45 here, so I'm going to do some stitching towards my goals, and then I'll head to bed and go to work tomorrow. Hopefully I will be back to record again within the next fortnight. I'm not going to promise a goal or when I'm going to do it, but I will try to get back as much as I can to show you projects that I'm working on. If I've worked on quite a few projects within the week or the fortnight, I will definitely come back and give you an update, so it's not such a big video next time. They'll just be reasonably shorter videos. So thank you again for everybody that's subscribed to my channel. Hopefully you've seen what you liked what you've seen in this video, and I will allow you now to be released to go and watch other WIP parades and be enabled by some other Flosstubers. So if you've got any Flosstubers that you've found in this WIP with WIP parades that you believe that are my kind of stitching, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. I'd love to actually find some other subscribers and join in and see what they've got to actually to show on their stitching, and we will go from there. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Have a lovely week or a couple of weeks till I see you again. Take care and happy stitching. Sorry, I lost my words. Happy stitching. Take care. Bye bye.